Hi everyone, welcome. This is a video I've been really wanting to make. I wish I made it when the movie first came out, but I really want to talk about Sinners. I'm not gonna glorify it. It's a great movie. It's beautiful shots. The acting is incredible. The script is great till the end. Now, this is something I've wanted to talk about for a long time because I loved watching this movie until the ending. Why? Because I think the ending is bad. And I don't care what anyone says, and I know that the movie's going to win a lot of awards, and no one's going to really think about like the ending because how beautiful it was shot, but the ending's not good, and the ending is poorly written. And I'm going to do a deep dive on a couple of reasons why. My first reason is, and the movie's been out long enough. This is a spoiler if you haven't seen it. If you're going to watch it, don't listen to this. If you have watched it or you don't care, then continue on. The ending where the vampire gets killed is terrible. It doesn't make any sense. It was not written to make sense, or someone decided to change the script at the end. At the end of the movie, which if you've seen, you know, he gets stabbed in the water. Now he gets stabbed by the character who was originally trapped in the barn, and the only way for him to have got to where he was to stab and assist the main character is by somehow getting out of the barn, dropping, surviving the drop, surviving, I believe he was getting attacked by vampires at the time, and then walking through a crowd of vampires that are all lined up around the waterfront and somehow just let him walk through and then stab their master, which makes zero sense. Like, it doesn't make any sense. That being said, I want to give what I think it should be the ending or how it should have ended. And how it should have ended is because they're in the water and his father's a priest. What should have happened is we should find out either earlier in the movie or maybe by flashback or some sense is that he was going into priesthood or his father was forcing him into priesthood for later on and that he could make the water holy water around him. That would have made sense compared to Michael B. Jordan jumping off a roof, walking past all of these vampires who just I don't have just not paid attention or just so enthralled over the main fight that they don't notice a regular person walking past them, walking through them because he'd have to even push his way because they're lined up at the waterfront and then stab their master. That's my theory on how that part should have actually played out, and I think it would have been better. And I don't think I'm a better writer. I don't think that my idea is perfect, but I think if they were going to do an ending like how they have it set, without like with minimal changes, that's how he would have done it. And then he would have caught on fire in the water or boiled down into the water because it's now holy water. That to me is the only thing that they could have done without having to do major changes. Now, that is one key thing that I just could not stand about the ending. I know Michael B. Jordan after that gets the shootout, which is cool. Like, don't get me wrong, the shootout's a badass scenario where he defeats a lot of people, and it's essentially him doing his blaze of glory. But that could have happened. Like, we didn't have to actually get rid of that. We could have done some sort of Michael B. Jordan survives inside the barn, and after everyone dies, he's just like, he was locked into a room or locked himself in, or he was still fighting someone, and you could flash to that shot of him, like the creature dying on top of him or something. That would have made more sense. Now, my second hate for this ending is not the direct ending, but it's after the credits. Now, after the credits, it's kind of cool that like we get to see what happened and how the main character grows up and becomes a professional musician. I like that. And it would have been cool if a new vampire showed up or like there was more than one, some kind of theory of that matter. That would have been cool. Now, I hate that Michael B. Jordan, and I apologize for the actress name, she's fantastic in the movie, that they show up still alive, even though thoroughly through the movie, like it's discussed through the movie, that after the master dies, they all die, and that all the other ones die when the master dies, but somehow they survive. Like there's just no reasoning to it. It's just a direct, hey, we wanted to put this in, and I don't know if it was for like a sequel, which I hope there isn't one. I think the movie otherwise is great and shouldn't be a sequel based movie. I think it won't work out well. I think they nailed the first three quarters of that movie. They just didn't know how to end it, or maybe a producer or someone said rewrite, or this is a better idea, or some kind of nonsense. But that's the only thing I can think of because like he's a great director, and the rest of the movie is written so well. And considering how long the movie is, you could always go, oh well, like they needed to cut time. But like there was tons of ways that you could have done it to make it just as long, shorter. Like they had space. They could have separated it somehow to a couple of shots to make this ending different, or they would have had to do some rewriting through the movie to kind of have a better answer at the end. But the fact is, there's no reason they should be alive and just living life like because it defeats a main story plot. The main story plot that is they are zombies to the leader, and it's discussed. That's the worst part. It's not like hey, like we're as the audience trying to figure out are these different or is this how it works? It's discussed in the movie, and it is shown in the movie how they die. That it's a connection with the main baddie, and it just doesn't go through. I don't know why. And sorry, that's my rant. That's my tidbit on Sinners, and I wish I'd brought it up right as the movie came out because I know people raved about it. I truly did enjoy that movie, but I did walk away with a sour taste in my mouth about the ending because it shouldn't have been like that. Anyways, that's my rant. What did you think of the ending? I know a lot more people have seen it now. We're getting to the end of the year. It's award season. It's going on lists. Did you think the ending was bad too? Do you think it should have been rewritten or better like checked out? I don't know. I feel like whenever they read through that script, no one really looked at the ending and went, that shouldn't make any sense. That doesn't work. Anyways, you tell me what you think. Have a good one.